What happens when a beloved daytime host tries to ask honest questions and gets torn apart on live television? In just 34 seconds, one comment would ignite a firestorm that turned a friendly interview into absolute chaos. Kelly Clarkson sat across from her guest, ready for what she thought would be a pleasant conversation. The studio audience buzzed with excitement. Kelly had built her show on warmth, authenticity, and real talk. She treated every guest with respect, asking thoughtful questions while keeping things light and fun. But nothing could have prepared her for what was about to unfold. The interview started smoothly enough. Kelly smiled warmly, welcoming her guest to the show. "I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you for joining us." Meghan smiled back, but there was something cold behind it, something calculated. "Well, I'm selective about where I appear, but I suppose this will do." The audience laughed nervously. Kelly's smile faltered for just a moment before she recovered. She was a professional. She'd handled difficult guests before. "Well, we're honored. I wanted to start by talking about your journey and everything you've experienced over the past few years." "My journey," Meghan repeated, her tone dripping with condescension. "You mean my trauma, my suffering? Do you really think you can understand what I've been through?" Kelly shifted in her seat, trying to keep things positive. "I think a lot of people have faced challenges, and they connect with stories of resilience. That's what makes conversations like this so important." "Connect?" Meghan's voice rose slightly. "You think middle America sitting on their couches can connect with what I've endured? Please." The audience went silent. You could hear the air conditioning humming. Kelly's face showed confusion, but she pressed forward. "I think people from all walks of life deal with struggles. Different struggles, sure, but pain is pain." "That's easy for you to say," Meghan shot back. "Sitting here in your comfortable studio with your comfortable BDO life. You have no idea what it's like to be scrutinized every single day, to have the entire world attacking you." Kelly took a breath. Her voice remained calm and kind. "Actually, I've been in the public eye since I was 20 years old. I've dealt with body shaming, public criticism, a very public divorce. I'm not comparing our experiences, but I do understand what it's like when people think they know everything about you." Meghan leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. "Are you seriously comparing winning a singing competition to what I've been through? Are you seriously sitting there, acting like you understand my pain?" "That's not what I said," Kelly replied gently. "I was just saying that many people, including myself, have faced public criticism. It doesn't make your experience less valid." "Doesn't make it less valid?" Meghan's voice went up another notch. "How generous of you. Tell me, Kelly, when was the last time you had to flee a country because of how you were treated? When was the last time an entire institution worked against you?" Kelly looked genuinely confused now. "I'm not trying to minimize anything you've been through. I'm just trying to have a conversation." "A conversation?" Meghan laughed bitterly. "Is that what this is? Because it feels like an interrogation. Why am I even here answering to you?" The audience members glanced at each other. This wasn't the fun, uplifting show they'd come to see. Kelly maintained her composure, her voice still gentle and measured. "You're not answering to me. We're just talking. That's what we do on this show. We have honest conversations." "Honest?" Meghan stood up slightly in her chair. "You want honest? Honestly, I thought this show would be different. I thought you would understand. But you're just like everyone else, trying to tear me down, trying to make me explain myself." "I haven't asked you to explain yourself," Kelly said, her patience showing but still holding strong. "I asked about your journey. That's literally all I did." "Your tone," Meghan said accusingly, "your tone says everything. I can hear the judgment." Kelly looked directly at her guest, and for the first time, a hint of frustration crept into her voice. "There is no judgment here. I welcomed you onto my show with open arms. I've been nothing but respectful." "Respectful?" Meghan scoffed. "You wouldn't know respect if it hit you in the face. Do you know who I am? Do you understand what I represent?" The audience gasped. Kelly blinked, genuinely taken aback. I know exactly who you are. That's why I invited you here. But respect goes both ways. Don't lecture me about respect, Meghan snapped. I don't need a lecture from someone who makes a living off gossip and entertainment fluff. Kelly's face flushed, but she kept her voice steady. This show is about connecting with people and sharing stories. If that's fluff to you, I'm sorry you feel that way. Of course you're sorry, Meghan said mockingly. Everyone's always sorry, but nobody actually does anything. Nobody actually stands up for what's right. What does that have to do with anything we're talking about right now? Kelly asked, genuinely confused. It has everything to do with it, Meghan said, her voice getting louder. You sit here in your perfect little bubble, asking your safe little questions, pretending to care about real issues. But when it comes down to it, you're just another talk show host protecting the status quo. Kelly shook her head slowly. I have no idea where this is coming from. I asked you about your experiences. That's it. I wanted to give you a platform to share your story in your own words. My own words? Meghan laughed harshly. You want my own words? Fine. Here are my words. This is beneath me. This entire show is beneath me. I shouldn't have to sit here and defend myself to you or anyone else. The studio had gone completely silent. Even the crew members stood frozen, unsure of what to do. Kelly straightened in her chair, her voice taking on a firmer tone. Nobody asked you to defend yourself, but if you feel this show is beneath you, I'm not sure why you agreed to come. Because my team said it would be good for my image, Meghan spat out. They said you were safe, that you'd lob softball questions and make me look good. But I see what this really is. This is a setup. A setup? Kelly's eyes widened. What are you talking about? What setup? I've asked you maybe 3 questions, and you've attacked me for every single one. There you go, Meghan pointed at Kelly. Playing the victim. That's rich coming from you. Kelly took a deep breath, clearly trying to maintain her professionalism. I'm not playing anything. I'm sitting here trying to understand why you're so angry when all I've done is welcome you and try to have a conversation. You don't get it, Meghan said, shaking her head dramatically. You'll never get it. People like you never do. You coast through life on your little talent, your little show, your little audience, and you think you understand struggle. People like me? Kelly repeated, her voice quiet but strong. What does that mean? It means privileged, Meghan said coldly. It means sheltered. It means you've never had to fight for anything real. Kelly's jaw tightened. You don't know anything about my life. You don't know what I've fought for or what I've been through. And honestly, I didn't come here to compare struggles. I came here to have a respectful conversation with a guest. Respectful? Meghan stood up from her chair. There's nothing respectful about this. Ambush. Ambush? Kelly stood up too, her voice rising for the first time. What ambush? You've been hostile since the second you sat down. I have done nothing but try to make you comfortable. Comfortable? Meghan's voice was shrill now. How can I be comfortable when you're sitting there with that smug look on your face, acting like you're better than me? I have never, not once, acted like I'm better than anyone, Kelly said firmly. That's not who I am. And everyone who knows me knows that. But I will not stand here and let you disrespect me, my show, and my audience. Your audience? Meghan looked around at the stunned crowd. These people don't matter. None of this matters. This whole thing is a waste of my time. The audience members looked shocked and hurt. Some shook their heads in disbelief. Kelly's face showed a mix of anger and sadness. Those people matter. Very much. They came here to have a good time, and you've turned this into something ugly. I've turned it ugly? Meghan pointed at herself dramatically. You invited me here under false pretenses. You pretended you wanted a real conversation. But this is just another hit job. How is this a hit job? Kelly's voice was loud now, her patience finally wearing thin. Tell me one thing I've done that constitutes a hit job. One thing. Your whole attitude, Meghan said vaguely. Your questions, your energy. Everything about this feels wrong. My questions? Kelly threw her hands up. Asked you about your journey? That's it. That was my first question. And you've been attacking me ever since. Because I can see through you, Meghan said. I can see what you're really trying to do. What am I trying to do? Kelly demanded. Please, enlighten me. What is my evil plan here? You want to make me look bad? Meghan accused. You want to tear me down like everyone else. You're all the same. Kelly shook her head, her voice filled with disbelief. If you look bad right now, that has nothing to do with me. I have been nothing but kind and professional. You're the one who came in here with an attitude. An attitude? Meghan's voice hit a new pitch. I have an attitude because I've been pushed to my breaking point by people like you who think they can judge me. Nobody is judging you, Kelly said, exasperated. But you're judging everyone in this room. You've insulted me, my show, and my audience. At what point does this become about your behavior? My behavior? Meghan looked outraged. How dare you? Do you know what I've sacrificed? Do you know what I've given up? That has nothing to do with what's happening right now, Kelly said firmly. Whatever you've been through, whatever you've sacrificed, none of that gives you the right to come onto my show and treat people this way. Treat people what way? Meghan demanded. I'm standing up for myself. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to sit here and be disrespected. You're the only one being disrespectful, Kelly said, her voice strong and clear. From the moment you sat down, you've been rude and condescending. I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt. I tried to keep this conversation going, but enough is enough. Enough is enough? Meghan repeated mockingly. What are you going to do, Kelly? Are you going to throw me off your precious show? If that's what it takes, yes, Kelly said without hesitation. I won't have someone come into this space and treat people the way you're treating them. This is a place of positivity and respect, and you've shown neither. Meghan's face went red. You can't throw me off. Do you know who I am? I know exactly who you are, Kelly said calmly. And right now, you're someone who needs to leave. This is outrageous, Meghan sputtered. This is discrimination. This is persecution. This is consequences, Kelly corrected. You came here and immediately started attacking me for no reason. You've insulted everyone in this room. And when I tried to address it, you doubled down. So yes, I'm asking you to leave. You'll regret this, Meghan threatened. Everyone will hear about this. Everyone will know. How you treated me? Good, Kelly said firmly. Let them hear. Let them know that I stood up for myself and my team when someone came in here acting entitled and cruel. I'm fine with that story getting out. Meghan looked around the studio, as if expecting someone to come to her defense. Nobody moved. The audience sat in stunned silence. The crew members avoided eye contact. She was alone in her outrage. Fine, Meghan said, her voice icy. I don't need this. I don't need you. I don't need any of this. Then we agree on something, Kelly said, still standing firm. Meghan grabbed her purse from beside her chair, her movements sharp and angry. You're making a huge mistake. The only mistake I made was thinking this would be a normal interview, Kelly replied. But I'm correcting that mistake right now. You're nobody, Meghan hissed. You're just a singer who got lucky. I have no idea what real struggle is. Kelly's eyes flashed, but her voice remained controlled. And you have no idea what kindness is, or humility, or basic human decency, apparently. How dare you? Meghan's voice shook with rage. How dare you speak to me that way? How dare I? Kelly's voice rose again. How dare you come onto my show and act like everyone here should bow down to you? How dare you insult people who did nothing but welcome you? I won't stand here and listen to this, Meghan said, turning toward the exit. Then don't, Kelly said simply. The door is right there. Meghan spun back around, her face twisted with anger. This will come back to haunt you. Mark my words. I'm not worried, Kelly said, crossing her arms. I know who I am. I know what this show stands for. And I know that I did nothing wrong here today. You did everything wrong, Meghan shouted. You ambushed me. You set me up. You tried to make me look bad. You did that all by yourself, Kelly said quietly but firmly. I didn't make you say any of those things. I didn't make you act this way. That was all you. Meghan's mouth opened and closed, no words coming out for a 5 moment. Then she found her voice again. You'll pay for this. I have connections. I have influence. I can destroy you. The audience gasped again at the threat. Kelly just stared at her guest, sadness now mixing with the anger in her expression. Is that really who you are? Someone who threatens people when they don't get their way. I'm someone who doesn't let people walk all over me, Meghan snapped. Nobody tried to walk over you, Kelly said, shaking her head. I tried to have a conversation, that's it. But you couldn't even do that without turning it into a battle. Because everything is a battle, Meghan said. Every single day is a fight, and I'm tired of fighting. For the first time, Kelly's expression softened slightly. Then maybe stop creating battles where there aren't any. Maybe stop seeing enemies in every room you walk into. Don't psychoanalyze me, Meghan snapped, the brief vulnerable moment gone. You're not qualified. I'm not trying to psychoanalyze you, Kelly said with a sigh. I'm just trying to understand why you're so determined to be angry at everyone. Because everyone deserves it, Meghan said bitterly. Everyone has let me down. Everyone has failed me. Or maybe, Kelly said carefully, you're so busy looking for reasons to be angry that you can't see when people are genuinely trying to be kind. Kind? Meghan laughed harshly. You call this kind? You're kicking me off your show. After you insulted me, repeatedly, insulted my audience, and threatened me, Kelly pointed out. What did you think was going to happen? I thought you'd be professional, Meghan said. I have been professional, Kelly countered. Incredibly professional, given the circumstances. But being professional doesn't mean being a doormat. So I'm being thrown out like trash, Meghan said dramatically. You're being asked to leave because you can't behave like a respectful human being, Kelly corrected. There's a difference. Meghan stood there, her chest heaving, clearly trying to think of something else to say. The silence stretched out, uncomfortable and tense. Finally, she spoke again, her voice dripping with venom. You know what? I feel sorry for you. You feel sorry for me? Kelly repeated, incredulous. Yes, Meghan said. I feel sorry for you and your sad little show and your sad little sad life. You think you're important, but you're not. You're forgettable. Kelly's face showed hurt for just a flash before her expression hardened again. If I'm so forgettable, why are you still here? Why haven't you left yet? Because I want you to know what I think of you, Meghan said. I think we all know what you think of everyone in this room, Kelly said. You've made that abundantly clear. So unless you have something new to add, I really think it's time for you to go. I'll go when I'm ready, Meghan said defiantly. Kelly turned to someone off camera. Can we get security, please? Meghan's eyes went wide. Security? You're calling security on me? You just said you'll leave when you're ready, Kelly said. I'm ready for you to leave now. So either you walk out on your own or security will escort you. Your choice. This is insane, Meghan said, but there was a hint of panic in her voice now. You can't do this. I absolutely can, Kelly said. This is my show, my studio, and I have the right to remove guests who are disruptive and disrespectful. 2 security guards appeared at the edge of the stage. They stood there, not moving closer yet. Just present. Meghan looked at them, then back at Kelly, then at the audience. Everyone watched in complete silence. You're really doing this, Meghan said, her voice smaller now. You gave me no choice, Kelly replied. I tried to be understanding. I tried to be patient, but you pushed and pushed and pushed. Because you attacked me, Meghan insisted weakly. I didn't attack you, Kelly said, her voice tired now. I never attacked you. But you've convinced yourself that everyone is against you. So that's what you see. Even when it's not there. It is there, Meghan said, but she sounded less certain. It's not, Kelly said softly. But I can't make you see that. So please, just go. Let's end this before it gets any worse." Meghan looked around one more time, as if hoping for some last-minute reprieve. None came. The audience sat still. The crew remained quiet. The curtain setting with dot-headering tool from number summoning tools summon. Security guards waited patiently. She was alone in her outrage, with no allies and no escape route except the door. "Fine," she finally said, her voice cold again. "I'm leaving, but this isn't over." "Yes, it is," Kelly said firmly. "This is absolutely over." Meghan walked toward the exit, her heels clicking loudly on the studio floor. Every eye followed her. Just before she reached the door, she turned back one last time. "You're going to regret this, Kelly Clarkson." Kelly stood tall, her voice unwavering. "The only thing I regret is wasting everyone's time today. Goodbye." Meghan's face contorted with rage one final time before she spun around and stormed out. The door slammed behind her, the sound echoing through the silent studio. For a long moment, nobody moved, nobody spoke. The shock of what had just happened hung in the air like a thick fog. Kelly stood there, still in the middle of the stage, breathing heavily. Her hands trembled slightly at her sides. Then, slowly, one person in the audience started clapping. Then another. Then another. Within seconds, the entire audience was on their feet, applauding Kelly for standing her ground. Kelly looked out at them, tears forming in her eyes. Not tears of sadness, but tears of relief and gratitude. She mouthed thank you to the crowd as they continued to cheer. The crew members joined in, some of them calling out words of support. "Okay," Kelly finally said, her voice thick with emotion. "Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much." She wiped at her eyes, laughing a little through the tears. "Well, that was not how I expected this afternoon to go." The audience laughed, the tension finally breaking. Kelly walked back to her chair and sat down, taking a deep breath. "I'm sorry you all had to witness that. That's not what we do here. That's not who we are." More applause erupted. Kelly smiled, genuine warmth returning to her face. "We're going to take a quick break, get ourselves together, and then we're going to continue with the show we planned. Because we're not going to let negativity win. We're not going to let one person's anger ruin everyone's day." The audience cheered again. Kelly nodded, composing herself. "We'll be right back." As they cut to commercial, Kelly slumped back in her chair, the adrenaline finally catching up with her. A producer rushed over, asking if she was okay. Kelly nodded, managing a weak smile. "Yeah, I'm okay. That was just intense." "You handled it perfectly," the producer said. "You were professional and strong. You didn't back down." "I couldn't," Kelly said quietly. "I couldn't let her treat people that way. Not here. Not in this space we've built." The producer squeezed her shoulder supportively before walking away to check on the crew. Kelly sat there, replaying the confrontation in her mind. She wondered if she could have done anything differently, said anything that might have changed the outcome, but deep down, she knew the truth. Some people come looking for a fight, and no amount of kindness will change that. She thought about all the wonderful guests she'd had over the years, people who came with stories to share, with joy to spread, with genuine connection to offer. She thought about the conversations that had made people laugh, cry, happy tears, feel less alone. That's what her show was about. That's what she wanted to protect. And in that moment, standing up for herself and her show, asking someone to leave who refused to treat others with basic respect, Kelly knew she'd made the right choice. It wasn't easy. It wasn't comfortable. But it was necessary. The floor manager counted down to the end of the commercial break. Kelly straightened in her chair, fixed her hair, and plastered a smile back on her face. The show would go on. They would move forward, because that's what professionals do. But nobody in that studio would forget what had happened. Nobody would forget the moment when Kelly Clarkson, known for her warmth and kindness, showed that being kind doesn't mean being weak. It doesn't mean accepting mistreatment. It doesn't mean letting someone walk all over you and everyone around you. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is set a boundary. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is say enough is enough. And sometimes, the most professional thing you can do is recognize when someone's presence is poisoning the room and ask them to leave. Kelly had done all three. And while her hands still shook slightly and her heart still raced, she felt a sense of clarity, a sense of rightness. She had protected her space, her team, and her audience. She had stood up to bullying and entitlement. She had shown that respect is not optional, it's required. The camera light turned red, indicating they were live again. Kelly smiled at the lens, at the audience, at everyone who had supported her through that chaotic moment. "Welcome back," she said, her voice steady and strong. "Now, let's get back to what we do best. Spreading joy, sharing stories, and having a good time." The audience erupted in cheers once more, and the show continued. But the memory of that confrontation, of that stunning display of entitlement met with quiet strength, would linger long after the cameras stopped rolling.